Back in 2005, New York Times columnist Maureen Dowd wrote a book called Are Men Necessary? When Sexes Collide? My answer to the question posed by Maureen Dowd in her book title is this: go screw yourself. No, Maureen, we don't need men. We don't need the men who pave your sidewalks, install your plumbing, collect your garbage, fight your fires, police your streets, or protect you from terrorism. We don't need the millions of men who pay tax dollars into women's health initiatives, women's research, women's scholarships, or welfare for single mothers. We especially don't need the hundreds of thousands of men who pay alimony to adult children who call themselves women. After all, those women are empowered enough to take care of themselves, right? And I tell you, what we really don't need is all those men who get up at the crack of dawn and commute sometimes hours to thankless jobs in order to support their families. You lazy, good-for-nothing bastards, how dare you? Maureen's right. Women don't need men, except for when they want to cage free drinks at a bar, except for when they want someone to give up their seat on public transportation, except for when they need someone to install a restroom, except for that part of the date when the dinner check comes, except for that signature on alimony and child support checks. Oh, brutal reality, you're just an angry male, so typical. Why so bitter? Had a few strokes of bad luck? Have some trouble getting the ladies? No. What makes me bitter is when someone holds out one hand to me for assistance, then takes a swipe at me with the other hand. That's an all bets are off move. And as far as Maureen Dowd is concerned with me, all bets are certainly off. Maureen Dowd is a typical example of the lifeboat feminist. She's all about equality this, independence this, and empowerment that, but if her ship was going down, she'd be one of the first people to scream women and children first. Which is another way of saying that Maureen Dowd doesn't need men, except for when she needs someone to die instead of her. So what Dowd really means to say is that she doesn't need men, except for all the dirty, nasty, stressful, dangerous things that Maureen Dowd doesn't want to do. Maureen doesn't want to quit her high-paying city gig to become a logger in Oregon. Maureen doesn't want to install my toilet. Maureen doesn't want to protect my borders. Maureen Dowd wants to sit in her plush study on the Upper West Side of Manhattan and show the world how independent she is, all the while crying silently in her latte because she hasn't found a man strong enough or enlightened enough to handle her. In this sense, Maureen is a lot like the "oh, where are all the good men" urban career women in their mid-30s to mid-40s. By good men, they mean lawyers, bankers, doctors, and executives. They certainly don't mean the decent, hard-working single guys who install their cable and hang their drywall, because there are lots of them out there. And what's with these gals anyway? If a woman wants to find an available rich guy in New York City, all she has to do is scan the SEC's watch list. Sheesh, you'd think these girls just got into town or something. You know, maybe one day men will answer the Maureen Dowds of this world. Maybe we'll all pull up stakes, throw them the keys, and say, "Okay, it's your show. Good luck, girls. Call us if you need the oil changed. Don't worry, we run a special on Wednesdays." Sounds like a warning, doesn't it? It is. So, my message to Maureen Dowd is this. Go sit in your man-built townhouse in Manhattan and think about the men you don't know. Think about all those guys who do the dangerous, dirty jobs you never even think about. Consider the reality that if a man were to write a book called Are Women Necessary?, no one would even publish it. And remember, next time you take a cab to work, make sure the driver is a woman, because men aren't necessary. See you next time.